Patience. Patience is a virtue. Isn't that the truth? Well, I don't have so much patience these days, you know. If you've been listening to my other posts, you realize I'd like to make more money than I do. I make about $20,000 a year, and I feel like I'm stuck in a rut there, and I will continue to be in that rut, and it seems like nothing I do can get me out. So I just have to wait, right? I keep on reading my horoscope, and they say something big's going to happen. You know, in a few months, something's just on the horizon, and I hope that means more money or more money-making potential, right? I mean, one area of life, if you're in stocks, that takes a lot of patience. You'll watch your stocks one day and they go down, but you realize you can't sell or you shouldn't sell because they'll go up the next day probably, and the next day. I was into stocks there for a while and I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And that's one thing. The one thing I don't have patience for is if I give my money to the bank and they say they'll take care of it, because they lost a shitload of money of ours that way, you know. And so I'll have patience hopefully for what I do, but I don't have patience for what other people do as far as if I'm invested in them. So that's one thing. You can have patience, but make sure it's not in other people, because or not too much anyways. If it has to do with your money, don't be patient. I mean, you could lose everything, right? I mean, I realize I should never go in partners with somebody, because guess what? Not only can they lose your half, they can lose all your money. Like they could lose their half, and then you have to pay for their half. And so I believe patience is a virtue, but it only goes so far as virtue. I mean, if you're waiting for somebody to improve, and what they do impinges on your money-making potential, I think that's foolish. I think you should really cut and run at that point. So I think patience is a virtue, but it only works so far in as you're concerned and your potential. You know, be patient with yourself, and one day you might make more money. You might have more opportunities opening up. And so I will try to be patient. You try to be patient.